What if I told you high school never really ends? The cliques, the cold shoulders, the whispering just loud enough for you to hear. Only now, it's not in a classroom, it's in your retirement community, your apartment hallway, your church group, your daily coffee circle. You expected peace. Instead, you got politics, pecking orders, and power games. Welcome to adult bullying, the hidden epidemic we rarely talk about. This isn't name-calling on the playground. It's exclusion in the dining hall. It's being talked over, ignored, lied about, ganged up on, and if you try to speak up, you're told to grow up. Ignore it. Be the bigger person. But silence doesn't protect you. It isolates you further. In today's episode, we're diving into the dark psychology of adult bullying, especially in older communities where victims are often trapped, overlooked, or dismissed. We'll explore how manipulation, narcissism, and emotional groupthink play out long after childhood ends, and more importantly, how to recognize it, resist it, and reclaim your power. Because it's time we stopped pretending that cruelty has an age limit. When we think of bullying, we picture schoolyards, shoving, insults, slammed lockers. But adult bullying is quieter, sharper, more strategic. It's the neighbor who always forgets to invite you, the community leader who rolls their eyes when you speak, the woman in the hallway who stares just long enough to make you feel small, then smiles like nothing happened. Adult bullying doesn't always scream. It whispers, it isolates, it erodes your confidence drop by drop. And the settings where it thrives, places where people are trapped. Retirement communities, senior living facilities, small town groups, long-term workplaces, even online spaces meant for support. Bullies don't need fists. They use exclusion, ridicule, gossip, and dominance. Social exclusion, you're left out again. Passive aggression, backhanded compliments that sting. Gossip and rumor spreading, designed to ruin your reputation behind your back. Sabotage, undermining your efforts, your confidence, your peace. And often, it's not just one person, it's a group. Bullies flock together. They reinforce each other. They form invisible hierarchies, and if you don't conform, you're a target. You're too sensitive. Don't take it personally. It's just a joke. Sound familiar? These phrases gaslight victims into silence. But here's the truth. Adult bullying is emotional abuse. And just because it doesn't leave bruises doesn't mean it doesn't leave damage. In fact, many adults, especially older ones, feel trapped. They can't just pack up and leave. They're dependent on that living arrangement, that community, that routine. So they endure, they shrink, they doubt themselves. That's why we're calling it what it is, a silent epidemic. And the first step toward healing is seeing it clearly, recognizing it for what it is. They smile, they sip tea, they compliment your sweater and laugh behind your back 2 minutes later. These aren't teenagers, they're grown adults. Some are grandmothers, retired professionals, church volunteers, but under the surface, the same social dynamics play out. What we call mean girl behavior isn't actually about age or gender. It's about group psychology, the need to belong, and the fear of being excluded. Let's break it down. The leader, often charismatic, manipulative, or subtly dominant. They control the narrative and set the tone. The enablers, they laugh at the jokes, go along with the gossip, nod silently when someone's being targeted. The scapegoat, the outsider, the threat, the person who doesn't follow the unspoken rules and is punished for it. These dynamics are rooted in survival instincts, tribal loyalty, fear of exclusion, but in closed communities like senior living spaces, these instincts get twisted. Instead of building support systems, some build hierarchies. Who gets invited? Who gets spoken to at lunch? Who gets frozen out, deliberately and methodically? The result? A constant low-level fear. What if I'm next? And the leader thrives on that fear, because control is their drug. This behavior is often linked to narcissistic traits, lack of empathy, need for admiration, obsession with status even in small social settings. It's also fueled by insecurity. Some use control as a defense against aging, powerlessness, or fear of irrelevance. But no matter the reason, the impact is the same. Isolation, anxiety, emotional distress, even depression. What's worse? Outsiders, including staff or family, often don't see it. It's too subtle, too nice. But subtle cruelty is still cruelty. In the next section, we'll explore why society tends to dismiss this behavior, and why victims are often left to suffer in silence. When an older person says they're being bullied, many people laugh it off. You're too old for drama. Just ignore them. At your age, does that even matter? This isn't just dismissive, it's dangerous. Because underneath those words is a deeper message. Your pain isn't real. Your experience doesn't count. This is what happens when ageism meets emotional invalidation. We assume older adults are wiser, tougher, immune to emotional wounds. But the truth is they still crave connection, respect, belonging. And when they're excluded, manipulated, or humiliated, it hurts just as deeply, sometimes more. Because by the time they reach their 60s, 70s, 80s, they've lost friends, homes, health, partners. They've survived so much, and now they just want peace. So when bullying happens at this stage of life, it feels like betrayal. Yet society continues to trivialize it. We treat elder pain as less urgent, or worse, less believable. And that's what keeps victims silent. They begin to question themselves. Am I overreacting? Maybe I'm just too sensitive. They internalize the cruelty because no one's validating the truth. But let's be clear, emotional abuse doesn't stop mattering after a certain age, and dignity doesn't come with an expiration date. By minimizing elder pain, we don't just fail to protect them, we become part of the problem. In the next section, we'll step into the mind of the victim and explore the emotional toll this behavior takes over time. It starts small. Someone stops saying hello. You're left out of a lunch invite. Your name doesn't make the group message. You tell yourself it's nothing. But slowly, something changes inside you. You begin to second-guess everything. Did I do something wrong? Am I imagining this? Should I just stay quiet and not cause a scene? This is how adult bullying works, not by explosion but by erosion. It chips away at your self-worth one uncomfortable moment at a time. And for older adults, the pain often runs deeper, because by now, you've lived through losses of people, independence, identity. You've rebuilt your world, maybe in a new place, a new phase of life. You expect calm, connection, a safe routine, but instead, you feel unseen, excluded, on edge. Over time, the toll becomes physical, loss of appetite, difficulty sleeping, fatigue, increased anxiety or depression. You may start isolating yourself further, not because you want to, but because being around others feels unsafe. The worst part? You start believing the bully's message, that you don't belong, that you're difficult, that you're invisible. That's how emotional abuse works. It doesn't just target your behavior, it attacks your identity. But here's the truth. If you feel hurt, it's because you still care. You still crave connection, dignity, respect, as you should. Your pain is real, and it matters. In the next section, we'll dissect the tactics adult bullies use and why they're so effective, even in emotionally intelligent communities. Adult bullies don't need to raise their voices. They use psychological warfare, quiet, calculated, and devastating. Let's break down the tactics. First, gaslighting. They twist reality to make you doubt your own perception. I never said that. You're being dramatic. Soon, you're second-guessing your memory, your instincts, even your sanity. Second, triangulation. They create chaos by playing people against each other. They tell you what someone else said, often twisted or false, just to watch the fallout. This keeps you isolated and unsure of who to trust. 3. Emotional baiting. They provoke you subtly, hoping you'll react, then use that reaction to label you as unstable or aggressive. It's a setup, and you're the trap. Fourth, grooming authority figures. Bullies often charm those in charge, staff, managers, community leaders. They build a facade of kindness and reason, so when you finally speak up, you're not believed. 5. Exclusion with plausible deniability. They leave you out, but with just enough ambiguity to deny it. Oh, I thought you knew. It must have been a mistake. These tactics are designed for one thing: control. Control of perception, control of social dynamics, control of how you see yourself. And when they're done skillfully, they make you question everything, while the bully walks away looking clean. But now that you see the patterns, you can start to break them. In the next section, we'll shift the focus and talk about how to fight back, the strategies, mindsets, and psychological tools that can help you reclaim your power. Now that you know how adult bullies operate, let's talk about how to take your power back, because the goal isn't just survival. It's psychological sovereignty, keeping your identity intact no matter how others behave. Here are the most effective coping and defense strategies grounded in dark psychology and emotional resilience. 1. Reframe the narrative. Instead of internalizing blame, mentally label what's happening. This isn't about me. This is a power game, and I'm the target because I'm strong enough to stand out. Naming the behavior helps neutralize its emotional sting. 2. Set boundaries, calmly and clearly. You don't need to explain, you don't need to apologize. Simple phrases like, "That's not something I engage with. I'm stepping away from this conversation." Send a clear message without giving them fuel. 3. Use the grey rock technique. This is one of the most powerful tools against narcissistic bullies. Act boring, unemotional, flat. Give them nothing to push against. They feed off reactions. Starve them. 4. Don't chase closure. Bullies rarely admit wrongdoing. Trying to make them see your pain often reopens the wound. Shift focus from being understood to protecting your peace. 5. Find quiet allies. You're not the only one who sees it. Look for the subtle nods, the empathetic glances. Start small conversations. One real connection can be your anchor. 6. Document everything. If things escalate, quietly write down incidents, dates, times, details. This builds a pattern that can help you if and when you need to report or confront. 7. Protect your inner world. Have rituals that remind you of who you are. Journaling, affirmations, prayer, nature walks, anything that rebuilds your center. You may not be able to change them, but you can change how much access they have to your mind. Every boundary you set, every time you refuse to shrink, that's power reclaimed. In the next section, we'll look at how to survive and even thrive when leaving isn't an option. What if you can't escape? What if the community, the facility, the neighborhood is where you have to stay? Then it's time to build something powerful, a psychological fortress. This doesn't mean shutting down. It means reinforcing the walls of your inner world so their poison doesn't get in. Here's how. 1. Control your microenvironment. Your room, your space, make it a sanctuary. Soft light, music that lifts you, books that strengthen you. This is your retreat, your reset button. 2. Rituals that reclaim identity. Do something every day that reminds you of who you are, not who they say you are. Journaling, meditation, drawing, prayer. It doesn't matter what it is, only that it's yours. 3. Mental shielding. Visualize a boundary around your mind. Every time you enter a shared space, remind yourself, their behavior is a reflection of them, not me. It may sound small, but it builds resilience like armor. Even in a hostile environment, you can protect your spirit. You can stay whole. In the final section, we'll bring this full circle and leave you with strength, clarity, and closure. If you've experienced adult bullying in a community, a facility, even your own social circle, know this: you're not being dramatic, you're not imagining things, and you are not alone. What's happening to you matters. It's real, it's painful, and it deserves to be seen. Because silence protects the bully, but visibility, that protects you. When you name the behavior, when you set the boundary, when you decide I don't need their approval to own my peace, you break the cycle. You reclaim your dignity, your story, your power. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to fight them. You just need to remember who you are and refuse to forget it for anyone. There's strength in standing up quietly. There's power in saying that's not okay, even if I say it only to myself. And there's healing in community. So if this episode spoke to you, share your story in the comments with someone you trust, even anonymously, because every voice that speaks out makes it harder for cruelty to hide. Thank you for watching and for honoring your truth.